I just popped the hood on the Miata. I still have to drive this a little bit somewhere. So to make it not look so terrible, I'm gonna take this bumper off. So I'm pretty sure only these two 10 wheels are holding the bumper. I'm so happy this bumper is destroyed because I never liked how it looked. And it'll be coming off. So here's how it looks right now without that broken piece. I'm happy this thing is destroyed. It is a fancy bumper, S2 Racing. Heard about them, but on these cars, it's just not it. And I guess to rest in peace, little pieces. And we're to make this thing so much nicer. So step one was deleting that bumper. So that's how the hood looks. I'm pretty sure I could probably bend this back a little bit. This is aluminum, it's not that strong. So I kind of feel like doing like a little temporary fix on it. So maybe trying to hammer the fender back into place. And this, straightening it out as much as I could. I found a piece of wood. I'm gonna press down on it and maybe try to straighten it. It's so cold. I closed the hood. I'm starting to undo some stuff on it. I loosened the bolts on the fender. And honestly, I'm just putting my hands here, pulling back. It's time to go back into place a little. Oh. So far, not bad. Well, I was able to get the headlight out. I definitely want to get the fender off and hammer it from inside. One of the special edition, and it has this shift knob. It's very wobbly and weird. But then after I was driving, I kind of lifted up, and it kind of just came off. And I'm like, what? But then I looked, it's held on by like these, by some Allen key piece. And then this, you just pop it off. Slide off this little rubber grommet thing. Oh my goodness, so hard to get off. But once you get that little rubber grommet off, then you have this. You just tighten it with these Allens. Can't say I like it too much, so we're going to be running something different. They mostly come off pretty simply. This first bolt right there was tricky to get to because the fender was in the way because it was bent. But simple trick, use a wrench. And then there's two bolts using the bottom of the fender that bolted in. But I'm gonna show you, I got one out and then the other one, I didn't get out yet. I'll show you why. But fender's off. It doesn't look as terrible now. I didn't bother taking off the other bolt because look at that. This fender's rotted. The goal here is to have a couple hammers and a piece of wood, a broken handle. I'm gonna hammer this shit the best I could to make it fit. Here's a little after. Not bad. Better than it was when it was caved in. I'm only gonna use this for temporary purposes. So far it's going on. So I got 3 bolts hand tightened. And it is very out of place, as you can see. I don't know, because I hammered it and maybe made something out of place. Something I don't like is these little dimples that popped up. I literally tried to use a piece of wood to hit those. Did that. It's annoying, but oh well, I'm not gonna have this fender forever. Something I'm doing right now where I could. New LED bulb. I'm gonna put an LED bulb here too. This is a temporary fix. I put duct tape so water doesn't get in the housing because the inside of the housing is still fine. It's still Mazda speed housing in the inside. Same here. This is also Mazda speed. I want to try to protect it as much as I could because these headlights are still salvageable. Like this one just needs a new lens. This one, basically the only thing repairable on here, unfortunately, is just the inside housing. Because the lens just cracked here. But hey, for now, I'm going to replace it with LED bulbs. Since it's supposed to rain these few days, I put a little bit of tape on the lens so it doesn't get in the housing and ruin the housing completely or get in the bulbs and burn out the bulbs. Just a little protection there. But next thing I want to do, these stickers, they bug the shit out of me. We're not in dirty Jersey. Prime Miata is cool, but not running that. And yeah, gotta delete that. So here's before. Boom. Much better than before. No more ugly New Jersey thing. You know what? I'm gonna keep the Miatas. Yeah, just kidding. Can't leave those. But that looks way better now. Okay, now these, I'm gonna delete that. That looks terrible. The Mazda. Some of this is true, but some of it's not. But Here's a little before. Boom, after. I think I look a little better. Then I have that ugly Mazda disgusting sticker. I just wasn't a fan of bad luck. A luck club. I honestly really like this sticker. I want to take it off and try to save it. I was able to save it, and I just put it on my toolbox. Found a new good ass spot. I love it here. Oh, understeer, understeer. There you go.
Yeah, we found a new spot. Powder snow. Yes. So we've been drifting for basically the whole day, and his side skirt fell off, but we put him back on. And the back wheel, they got a lot of. What the hell? They got a lot of snow, bro. Like freaking. Oh my god.
ass shift boot was that. There's a Phillip here, Phillip there, but there's a clip in the way. You gotta get a flathead or something and pick that out. And then down here, we have some Phillips here too. So 2 Phillips there. I don't know or remember too well if there's a Phillip. Pop this open, and sure enough, there's a Phillip in there. So pretty much 5 little Phillips screws. That's not supposed to happen. Once you get the shift knob and the 5 Phillips screws out, this piece should just pop off. I just thought usually by lifting the top, slowly wiggle it out. But something you gotta be cautious of, the back, little fuel lever. You want this to come off nicely and kind of wiggle it forward. I need a camera, man. Look at that. I'm sorry, I can't really show you. There's a clip right up there. That's for the harness for this thing. So I'm gonna do it and never plug it in again. That's kind of annoying. There you go. Now this should hopefully just wiggle right out. If we look at that, this looks terrible. Now just grab our Phillip, undo these 4 Phillips right here. Hold on to this little tray. Once you get that off, you can just feel embarrassed about how you can be driving with this. And dust it out here. This used to be like that. It's held on by a few little tabs. Just undo it from that. Never want to see this again. This has holes on it. You want to match these holes with these little tabs. So we don't want to do this upside down. So if you look, this boot has 3 holes up here. Oh, these 3 holes should match with these 3 tabs here. So I'm gonna connect to there. This is very self-explanatory. You just literally look at it and it just makes sense along the way. But 3 tabs are in. Obviously the back has 2 tabs. Now 2 tabs back here. There you go. Those 3 fit. It was very tricky, but it'll go in. And this one, what in the world? This is very off. Okay. Well, as you can see, I freaking screwed up because I suck. This lines up, but clearly these don't. So I obviously have it on backwards or completely wrong. So gotta redo it. And that's fine, because everybody, even you, mess up. Little tabs up there. It's going on a lot easier this time around. This is pretty much ready to go into the, you put that on here upside down. And then one by one you put a Phillip. As soon as it starts to get a little tight, that's when you stop. You don't want to tighten these too much, because it's thread into plastic. And look at that. That looks way better than before. Another thing while I'm here I wanted to do, it would be very convenient to fix this boot. I didn't order one. I don't like how it's super stiff. So what I want to do is add a little bit of transmission fluid in there. I feel like it's just low on it. What in the world? This sucks. Yeah, I'm supposed to have a socket and an extension. I don't see. Oh, here it is. It's in my pocket. There we go. Loose. At least this bushing doesn't look too old. But in here, it looks kind of dry. So we're going to add some fluids in there. So I have a pickle jar that shows me exactly how much I'm supposed to add. It's like some amounts of milligrams. I don't feel looking it up. So I'm gonna pour most of it in here because not much. I'm gonna fill this up. If you look, it's pretty damn dry. I'd say that's pretty filled looking. So pop this into place. Tighten it a little bit. It's aluminum. Hopefully over time it starts to feel better. It still feels the same, I want to say. Oh well, we tried, right? Now we just put this ugly ass thing here. Oh man! Oh shoot! There goes the bottle. I love windy days because they just make things worse sometimes. Make sure you put the back in first because you want those levers, the fuel lever and the gas cap thing, to go into place. Here. Look at that. That is such a big difference. Now clearly, you want to put all your pieces together. Put this in. New shift booters on. Car looks way better. I know it's gonna feel much better just knowing that it looks like that. So we have new headlights. These are gonna be going on their special edition. They both used to be this color. They're both yellow and hazy. But this one, I went ahead and cleaned it up. All I use is, I have a little sander with 220 grit. And then once I use the sander with the 220, I go back and I use a nice 800. So first was that, get most of the grime off quickly. After that, use the little 800 and it cleans it up very well. And then only thing left for this is clear coat. Once it's clear coated, it will look phenomenal. First thing I do, squirt it with some quick water. Then we have a beater rag. Clean it real swiftly with the beater rag. And again, spray it one more time. And then we have 220 grit right here. I'm gonna do a couple passes. Main goal is do the whole lens and do about 2 to 3 passes. Make sure you get, most of this gunk off. So I just did it. I went around like 3 times. What'll start to happen is it'll start to dry up. When it starts to dry up, you kind of want to stop. You can either add more water and then keep sanding, or add the water and then clean it and get all that stuff off. So right now, very dirty and disgusting. Get all that off. As you can tell, immediately starts to look way better than it used to. Now you have all that weird gunk off. Add some more water. Could clean this pad a little bit. And now you do another pass and you go like 2 to 3 times. When it starts to dry up, it's okay to add more water and keep going. I'm going to do about 3 to 4 of these. This is the second pass. Most of the yellow stuff is honestly already starting to come off. I just might need one more pass. That is not bad at all. I'm going to wipe this down real quick too because it's very dirty. There's the third pass, and I think that's good enough for me. Next is, I have 800 grit. What I'm going to do is just wet it up. I have a little sponge that's pretty destroyed. Grab that and just sand it all up until it's nice and smooth. Probably 2 to 3 laps, just like you did with the sander. Just did my first pass, and if we look at it, it looks great because when I'm sanding it, instead of being yellow, it's now clear. And that's a great sign because now we're hitting just the plastic part of the lens. No more yellow oxidation. So honestly, I just think I'm going to do one more pass after this one. Only 2 passes will be needed, in my opinion. This is not ready to see clear coat. Because once you wet it, it doesn't look bad at all. I say they're good to go. If it looks nice and cloudy like that, I'd say that's perfect. As long as it feels nice and smooth, the clear coat can stick onto it very well. I'd say ready to see some clear coat. Headlights look so much better. Heat up the lens so it can be nice and warm. So when the clear coat touches it, so when the clear coat is on it, it'll be nice and warm. And you don't want to paint when it's a little bit warmer. I cleaned it. I have the clear coat ready. There's basically engine clear coat. I'm using it because the headlights get hot and it's going to be sitting in the sun. So this should be fine. So let's see how one coat looks. So that can be the first coat. I will say it doesn't look bad so far. I'm going to heat it up a little bit so it can stay warm. I heat it up for like 30 seconds. I'm going to do second coat. Second coat's not bad. I'm not liking how it's looking very hazy like that. But I'm going to trust the process and heat it up one more time, and then hopefully the next coat will be the last one. It's been like 10 seconds, and as you can see, it's starting to crack. Not sure why this happens. This absolutely sucks because it was coming out so good. I was using this clear coat, and clearly it's not doing us any good. So I'm going to leave it how it is. Obviously, I'm not going to add more clear coat to that. That sucks. So I'm gonna let that dry up, and I'm probably gonna have to redo it. I'm gonna have to sand it and start over with this. If at least it looks better than how it used to. It has potential. But now we have this guy. This guy, I'm gonna try a different clear coat. This one, I have duplicate color. Rust-Oleum engine, even though it says 600 degrees and everything, doesn't do me good. This one, 500 degrees. I wet it, clean it with the microfiber, and then once you do that quick wipe, we dry it up with the heat gun to make sure there's no wet spots. And then also having a warmed up lens should help the paint stick better. Let's see how this clear coat performs. First coat, not bad. What I don't like so far is the spray pattern. I probably have to sand this real quick so it can come out cleaner. Well, this one I can tell it's done to actually do the same thing. Dude, I don't know what's going on. I know the lens is super clean, but let's finish it up, I guess. This is coat number 2. Right now, it doesn't look bad. And this time, I'm not going to use the heat gun. I'll just let it dry naturally. Let's see if that helps. Hello, update. So, there's my 2002 Special Edition NB2. Very pretty, has some good parts on it. Just lifted up on all 4 wheels. Here's how she looks now. Got a new fender, I have a new hood, got a bumper. These headlights are obviously messed up, but our goal here is to make it better than before. What I'm gonna do real quick, install the front lip, because once this bumper is off, it's gonna be annoying to put the front lip on. Front lip is on, came out good. I had to use a heat gun because it's very out of place. The next is, I gotta take this fender out. I have a new one. So basically, I'm gonna delete the whole front end. Here's the new fender. And this is the new fender. As you can see, crinkled. The bottom was rotted. Not a good fender. And I had to modify a little bit so it can fit. What we need from it is that emblem. So there's a Simpson with a little marker. Here's the front. Obviously, there's like nothing on it before. I'm gonna be using the fender as a little patch panel. About to finally drop this car. Alright, let's see it. Look at that. That's awesome. Oh my, whatever. The phone fell, but hey, she's on the ground, looking better than ever. We'll take it out in a little bit.